When President Trump announced tariffs on various countries, it sent shockwaves through global stock markets. People started to worry about potential economic warfare, which could lead to some serious financial instability. Now, tariffs are often seen just as extra taxes on imports, but they're much more than that. They act as import duties that can really shake up trade relationships and the economic strategies that countries have in place. Even with the US putting tariffs on certain goods, other countries like India and Pakistan have jumped on the bandwagon, imposing their own higher tariffs on American products. This whole situation really complicates the trade war landscape.
Take Harley-Davidson, for instance.
They're feeling the pressure from high taxes in India that are meant to protect local competition. It shows how tariffs can really hit local industries hard. But it's not just about protecting local markets. Tariffs also help keep foreign currency from leaking out, which is essential for maintaining a nation's economic stability. The US trade policies have a significant ripple effect on global markets, especially when it comes to countries like China, which, as we know, has a massive manufacturing base. Back in 2000, the USA imported around $80 billion worth of goods from China, while China brought in much less. That gap has only gotten wider in recent years, making the imbalance even more noticeable. Donald Trump has been pretty vocal about the need for equal trade. He argues that if the USA is buying a lot from China, then China should return the favor. This current trade deficit is definitely a major concern. Many popular American tech products, like iPhones and laptops, are made in China. If manufacturing shifts back to the US, it could really change the landscape of the tech industry. If America cuts down on its imports from China, the trade deficit could shrink significantly, which sounds great for the economy. But there's a catch. The higher production costs in the US could mean that product prices go up. In response to US tariffs, China isn't just sitting idly by. They're imposing their own taxes on American goods, creating a bit of a vicious cycle of retaliation. This ongoing tension makes people wonder which country will come out on top. Even though America relies heavily on Chinese imports for tech and consumer goods, China is pretty dependent on US agricultural products. That dependency could turn into a big issue for China in the near future. Speaking of agriculture, pork consumption in China is through the roof. They raise over 40 crore pigs, which is actually more than the entire human population of America. It really gives you an idea of how massive China's meat industry is. China does produce 80% of its corn domestically, but they still rely on imports for the remaining 20%, mostly from Ukraine. This balance is crucial for keeping that huge pig population fed. And let's not forget about soybeans. China imports a whopping 50 million tons annually, mainly from the US and Brazil. This dependence creates some real challenges for China's food security. They've looked into alternative feeds like canola seeds and peanuts, but those options often require added supplements, which raises overall costs. Plus, those alternatives don't quite meet protein needs as effectively. China's trade surplus means they need to sell their products all over the world, which can get a bit risky during economic downturns. Relying heavily on international markets can lead to some major losses. The impact of US tariffs, especially during Donald Trump's presidency, has created a tough playing field for China. As tariffs on Chinese goods increase, trade relations continue to feel the strain.